Today, I'm going to show you how you can debug an SQL code on SAP BTP HANA. So just a brief overview, what exactly SAP BTP is. It's SAP BTP actually provides you a platform to code, and not only provides a platform to code, but also it provides you a database and the front end part of it. So you have all the three, the front end, the back end, and the database into the same platform. So what you really need to do is that you start to code, and the underlying infrastructural needs are being catered by the BTP. So let's go into our BTP and check how we can do the SQL debugging. First, since I've already bookmarked the page, so it will direct me to the account. So this is my account. I'll go to continue. So here you see you need to put your credentials. So this one is the tool where you're going to write your codes. So we're going to go over there. And in the meantime, we'll also go to our trial account where we are going to activate our database. We see two sub-accounts into our trial account. So one over here, the second one over here. We're going to press this thing, trial. So then we are brought to another page that looks very similar to this. So for a starter, it would be like nothing has changed, but many things have changed in it. You've been brought to from the trial to this point, and now you're into your sub account where you have got a space to work on it. So this is called the dev space. You have to create, see the create space. You have to create a space and follow certain steps. So let's go into dev. Again, after now clicking on dev, you're brought to another page that looks very similar, but again, it's not that similar. So in that, you have to go to SAP HANA Cloud, SAP HANA Cloud Central. So after coming to this part, pressing SAP HANA Cloud, you'll be shown this thing, HANA Dan. This is my database that's already been created, but it's not activated. So we have to activate it. In order to activate, you need to go to SAP HANA Cloud Central. We'll ask for the login credentials again. So what I was saying is that if you make, like you are over here in the bus, so I changed from here to here. As I was talking about, if you're accustomed to Web IDE, it's a replacement of Web IDE. So the same thing, but now all at the same place. This is my Web IDE, and this one over here was my HANA, which I have to activate it. This is the trial home. From here, we went to Cloud Central by pressing this button, Cloud Central. I was brought to this screen where I was asked to put my login credentials. And after that, at the starting of the page only, where you saw the trial home, a trial, something was written over there. From there, we were directed to this page. Now you see this already running. So if it was not running, it would show a play button over here. When you press a play button over here, it will take some time for this to become blue. So at the initial level, it won't be blue, but after 2 or 3 minutes, it becomes blue. That means you are good to go. So I'll press and go into the bus. Another thing over here, like I've been brought to this page where I have my database, but I don't see it over here. There's some problem or what? I don't see my database over here. what's the problem? Taking some time to get started. So here is the point where I can see my database as a service over here. So let me just tell one more thing about it, is that if anybody is at the initial level of understanding BTP, then naturally he'll be having lots of problems understanding services in it, like what exactly a service is in this thing. Like if you already have some knowledge uh, of ABAP, where you make an OData and that is being consumed by Web IDE from the front end side. So their OData is a service. In the same way over here, almost everything that you do is a service. For example, the meaning of the service actually stands very true in BTP. That means if you have BAS, like a Web IDE, so the SAP BTP is providing you BAS, so it's providing you a service. In the same way, SAP BTP is providing you with its database into the BTP platform. So then the SAP HANA is a service over here. And whatever services, like you want to activate your security into it. So then you have to activate the security, and then security becomes as a service. If you want more things, like you want to change the screen look and feel, so then that look and feel is again as provided as a service. So each of the things you have to activate it by going into. In the meanwhile, let me just try to understand why this thing is not coming. So we need to go back over here into, so let's go back here, possibly, yes. So let's open in SAP HANA Cloud Central again and cancel this page. I think there's some problem. Many times you'll have problems in these things, like doing it again and again will make it work. So for a first timer again, if you go into it and it's not working, you'll think there's a big problem in it, but there isn't any. So understand it, like if thing is not working, just go back into the system and do it again. So here you need to see, and the important thing is that where you're going to write the codes for it. So, and how are you going to write the SQL codes inside BAS? Because if you're accustomed to this thing, let me just show you certain things. So here we have got a DB, an SRV, where you create the tables and make the services for each table in it. So a general convention is that where are the things? So not the node modules, but going to go into the DB, and here let's see this interaction.cds. So here you have got a CDS file. And after that, you have got this SRV over here for the service layer. So you have got this interaction CDS file over here. So this is how it is. And now, since you have to write SQL codes, so what you're going to do is that, and another thing, I was talking about the hook methods. So you can come to the SRV and you can make a JS file for writing the codes, the Node.js codes. So if you go into the file, this is what you see, certain methods I was talking about a short while ago. And you see things like before I was talking about certain hook methods I was talking about. So this is before, and that you are creating certain things. Okay, now I want these functionalities to be there at the database level. And that's quite interesting, actually. So how are you going to write the codes for it? So you have made a JS file. Now, what files are you going to make? So here, what you're going to do is that go to the DB folder, and in that, go to the this gen folder again. In that gen, you see these procedures. These are the places we're going to write the code for your SQL. So you need to make a file that's called as HDB procedure, .hdb procedure. So I'm going to make the file, go into the view, go to command palette, and here you're going to type create SAP HANA database artifact. So if you just write a create, so you're going to be, it's going to showing certain things like these. And on top, you see, since I have already used it, so it's showing me at the top, this shows me create SAP HANA database artifacts. You're going to press it. After pressing this thing, the first thing is the path of the file. The second thing is SAP HANA Cloud. I don't have any problem with that. In this, you need to go and find your procedure. So here I see a procedure. So after procedure, you need to specify the artifact name. So the name of the artifact will be YouTube, or you don't want to put a space for YouTube. Okay, so it's done. Okay, now you can create it. So you will see before I create it, you see here we have got a couple of files. I have made actually two of it already. So you see the HDB procedure, HANA SQL, again, another HDB procedure. I want to create another one. So you'll be having three of them now. So let's create it. So this HDB procedure, let's create it. If we create it, you'll have another file over here. Well, now you can see it's for YouTube HDB procedure. Okay. Now, after making this thing, you need to write your codes over here. So let's copy something and this part, okay, this part only, since there's a working code. So I'll just bring it over here, and then I'll explain everything. Don't you worry. What exactly is this? So we'll just cancel it, and we came back to the file that we had created. So it writes the name of the procedure over here for YouTube. The language that's it's using is SQL script, and then SQL security invoker. It's just going to invoke something, and that's default, and it reads SQL data as begin in it. So you need to first delete this part, okay? Because it is commented part. If you delete it, and then after that, you're going to paste the thing that you actually want to see. So this is the code, and it's already commented, so we need to uncomment it. So you see the codes are uncommented now. Fine. After that, since and this code actually is talking about updating. So suppose there is a table, and in that table you have got certain values in a field. The name of the field is f value, and that you want to actually update by adding 24. I'll show it to you first, then I'll go inside it and talk about that. So going into it, you see, I reached this part of the page where we have got, so again, if you're not, again, familiar with these things, like what exactly I did over here and OpenHDI container and went to that part. So that will be a bit of a problem for you to understand certain things. So what I would recommend that you should first understand how to bind your stuffs, your tables to a database service. So these are the procedures when you follow, and then finally you reach to this point where you have the database. You reach the database explorer. So if you already know these screens, so you must know things like tables. So inside the tables, I've got certain things. So I'll just try to show you the table that I actually want to see the changes in it. So this is my table, and I want to see the data inside it. So let's go and right click. So I right clicked over here like this and directly go into open data. And very quickly, I come to the last part of the screen, which actually I want to show you where I'm going to make the changes in it. You see over here, the F value over here are all zeros. And all the records in it are like, for F value is 0. So when we apply this code, so what it does actually is that it goes to the table named environment report, and then it checks the value and then sets the value. So it's a normal coding language that you have the F value equals F value plus 24. So the F value is from 0, it becomes a 24. So 0 plus a 24 is a 24, right? So this is what it's going to do that. So how are we going to see it? So first, what you need to do is that you need to deploy the app. So here is the deploy button, and you need to press it. This thing actually makes the database know what actually it has to do. So you need to deploy the app by pressing this deploy button, and a terminal will appear over here. So since I press the deploy button, so we will have, okay, the deployment failed. So let's check. So this is that thing that you'll always see, like deployment failed, because it's very important actually that this part of the deployment actually checks the syntactic part of the code. So if the code is syntactically correct, like see, it's showing an error over here. So it's showing by. So by adding 2 to the existing value. So let's go back into the code. Okay, so this part has to be commented because it's just like a piece of information that's being shared. Okay, so that part is actually updating the value by adding 2 to it. I'm sorry, 24 to it, but it's 2 over here. Let's make it 24. So now let's again try to redeploy the code. And you can even see the problem. It says that incorrect syntax near by. So of course, this is not a part of code, but it's sort of a piece of information that's added to it. So what we're going to do is that we'll again redeploy the code and try to see if there are more errors into it. So I'm pretty sure it won't show any error. Again, okay, so that says update. There was a problem over here. I don't think there's a problem. It should be a problem. Could not create the database object GI. The setup data is raw, not supported in read-only procedure. Okay, so where's the read-only procedure? Let's read. So we can't update the data when we have the read SQL's data. So we need to just delete that part, okay? And then, so now it's good to go because the read-only thing is then removed from there. So let's again try to redeploy the code and let's see if it again shows any error. This time, again, I'm sure that's not going to show me any error. Okay, so terminal will be reused by task press any key that says that to close it. So since that thing has been redeployed, so this part, like the name for YouTube, actually comes over here in this container, and you have to go into the procedure and see. This was my earlier one. This is for YouTube I've made, so I've got two of it. So you don't have to be thinking about this thing, what exactly this thing is, but it's same like for YouTube. It's got more codes in it, it's got less codes in it, just to show you how to debug the whole thing. So you go into it, and first we'll try to see the results, whether it has made changes into our codes. That's all zero. So let me just um, delete all the things except for this table that's got F values in it. And here we can go, and here you have to generate a call statement. Okay, so how will the code know that it has to do some changes unless some thing is being pressed into it? So what you can do is that this is the thing that it wants to do. It will call for the YouTube, the codes that are written inside it, and it will call it. And how are you going to call it? You're going to press the run button over here, and it runs over here. Okay, go back to this part. You see it's still zero. What you need to do is that you need to refresh the button, and you'll see all the values changes 24. And you see all the values change into 24. So you see the code is up and working. So I want to debug the code. How can I do that? In order to debug the code, what you need to do is that right-click the file that you want to debug, go to Open for debugging. Now, here you see these things are, I'll cancel it for a moment. I don't know what these things are. Let's cancel them. Okay, so you see these things that you're already accustomed with is that you've got these arrows that reads the code line by line and word for word and goes like that. And then again, you have stop and play button over here. And here you can attach it, detach it. So what do you want to do right now? We want to attach a debugger. So just by pressing open debugging, you'll be directed to this page, but it will a pop-up will come in that you have to do certain things. So there's again, you can see it's checked, and this box needs to be checked, and SQL console connection, and just press OK over here, right? So this is the code that we want to debug. Okay, so see, the debugger hasn't started yet. So what do you do in the web IDE? You need to run the code first, then it will debug. So you have got the SQL code over here. We're going to just push the play button, and then, okay, I did not put sort of like a debugger, so it started from the first point. So let's say this is how it is. So you see, this is the attachment that's required. You want to detach the whole thing. I don't want the debugger to be functional right now, so I can just detach it. If you want to make it functional, you need to again now attach a debugger to it by pressing on this one. So you see, you've got the call stacks, and then you have the system, and then you have got these things. So let's make it a bit bigger as possible, so that I can show you everything. You see, this is how the screen looks like. We got more space to go upwards. No. So the problem is that we have got very little space to see things. Those are there into it. So this is what it is. It just hit this part of the code, and after that, you put this one, and you see, it says that it is counted 456 rows, and once you end the whole thing, it will actually add 24 to the code, means to the F value. So let's end the code, and everything is working fine. So this is how you're going to debug if you've got a big code. So let's show you a big code where it can again debug. So let's go to, let's first detach it. So I want to detach the whole thing, cancel everything out. Let the screen be there. So again, we have got the F value set over there. Let's see what the value is. It's 24, and I want to activate this one. So let's go over here and let's make it open for debugging. So, so stop at execution start. Okay. And now, see, it's attached. We already attached it. And again, you have to run the SQL call statement. If you already have the screen of this tab over here like this, so we can use it. Otherwise, you have to go to the file and right click and go to generate call statement, and this screen will come spot. Okay, and now you press the play button. But once you press the play button and it is on the debugger mode, so it will directly bring you to this point. So here you have the debugger that's working. So I don't want these in the debug. These are just declarations and variables. So we have declared certain variables for our fields, and so we need to plus play. So you can jump to another level. Okay, so from here, jump to here. Going line by line, we just reach to from 23, 27, and then again to, okay. No, I wanted to actually go to 30, but accidentally I pressed this one instead of pressing the play. So going to the next level. Okay, not a problem. So let's put another debugger over here. It's possible now. No, it's not possible to put the debugger. No, it doesn't work. Okay, so you need to just keep on. Okay, the important thing is that you really move very fast. You can't go back in it. So what you can see over here that this local thing over there is showing what values it is fetching from the table. So it is fetching the values from the table. So in the same way, you can go ahead and see what your values are. If you want to make certain changes where the problems are, and you keep going on and on and on and on and on. And it will do the changes that's expected to do as the codes are written. So we'll just stop it, or we can detach the debugger. So everything is okay. So press this button to remove the screen from there. And we want to see if at all there are some changes made in it. So we need to actually refresh the page and see what the changes are. It is again working with that one only. So it does not, it didn't make any change in that one. I don't know why, because maybe this part of the thing is active and not this one. So actually, which one did I choose for emission seconds? So let's play it again. I just want to see that it's working or not. So it's working. So let's see if the value changes. So the values are not changing. Okay, it did change. For these records, it did change, not for all of them. So fine. So both of the procedures are working, and you learn how to debug it. Thanks for watching the video.